Greetings, and welcome to the 80-Level Roundtable podcast. In each episode, host Kirill Tokarev invites video game industry leaders to talk about the world of game development. No topic is off limits as long as it relates to video game development. New episodes are in the works, so remember to follow us or subscribe and share with someone you know will also enjoy the podcast.
I want to thank you for joining us today and for spending some of your Friday evening with us to talk a little bit about the stuff that you've been building. First of all, can you do an intro and tell us a little bit about yourself and your company and what do you guys are specializing in?
Okay. I'm the CEO and co-founder of FFFace Studio, and our studio specializes in producing Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok effects for the world's top brands, including Pepsi, Adidas, Samsung, Toyota, Vodafone, Raiffeisen Bank, Danone, L'Oreal, Visa, and many others. And during last 2 years, we created and implemented over 400 AR filters that generated more than 1 billion impressions, and more than 150 million people created branded user-generated content with our filters. So basically, our filters is our main product. But from the very beginning, we understood that we need to do more than this because the market is changing. And one day AR FX or Instagram is trending, the other day something new appears. So we're always looking for new opportunities for new products that we can implement with the help of our stack. Our team mostly consists of 2D, 3D designers and coders. After some time work, we also decided to go with digital and semi-digital clothing. And we were one of the pioneers in this niche. And it was really cool when this year Snapchat introduced full body tracking. And this year, all big brands are launching their digital clothing and clothing try-on with their filters. So it's a second big niche. And third product that appeared recently is the virtual influencers. And this was a product that we decided to work on after some market research. We came up with great examples from the Western market, like Little Michaela, and basically, there are more than 50 pretty big virtual influencers, and at the beginning of the year, we received a couple of requests for virtual influencers from our customers, and we understood that our market is ready and that this scene is gonna be mainstream, not only in USA or Asia, but also in Europe as well. So we started to work on it, and after some time, we launched the product for ourselves. And right now, we have more than 5 requests for standalone virtual influencers for other brands. Plus, surprisingly, we started to receive requests for integrations for our current owned virtual influencers. So this way, with this product, we generated 2 sources of business. Oh, sorry, I can hear you.
Sorry. Can you talk a little bit about this business of virtual influencers? How did it start? When did you notice it? Like when did you in your digital marketing area, when did you start noticing it? And where is it right now? Where is this You know what I mean? Like, where is this market right now?
Understand. I think the most popular virtual influencer, Lil Michaela, appeared back in 2016, like 5 years ago, and it was uh, perceived as some crazy project for a while, but nevertheless, it grew, and at some point we see that 3 million followers are looking at the life of Lil Michaela, and also big brands like Diesel and Calvin Klein are working with Lil Michaela, and it's starting to be a mainstream scene in Western markets. And I guess the market now is in this stage where product already showed that it's viable, and brands start to understand the value, because when they do the first projects, they always think it's a risk, and they are not ready to invest a lot. But at some point, when some brands did it first and the others see the results, it doesn't seem like a big risk anymore, and this is the point where it gets mainstream. And this is basically the point where we are right now. So right now, people, brands, businesses understand how it works. A lot of studios out there understand how to produce these virtual influencers, but not too many, but a couple of at least. And the most important thing is even not if the developers or business is ready. The main question is society ready? Are we ready to perceive virtual influencers like something real? And the answer is yes. A lot of people talk about the digitalization of businesses, but we also need to speak about digitalization of our society. And our society is, especially after this pandemic, it's digitalized a lot, and all of us like to receive digital reactions. For example, we receive physical pleasure when we receive likes, comments, shares, and different attention in social media. We also like to improve, upgrade, and grow our characters in computer games. And also we watch a lot of content with virtual characters in movies and cartoons. So the main point is the line between real and digital become really thin in 2021. And for the new generation, for the guys that are younger than 20 years old now, it's not really important who to follow. It's not important if the person that they're following is real, because what important is the content relevant? Yeah. And another cool point is when we follow real bloggers, we also follow their virtual package, because bloggers doesn't post their real content in social media. They post something that they are ready to show us. Do you understand my point?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not real life. All right.
Yeah. So we are already following lots of virtual influencers that appear to be real people.
Yeah.
In some life,
I agree.
in real life, but they're not really on the digital. So basically, these two trends: first is that we are ready to follow virtual life of real people, and second, that we don't see real difference between virtual and real anymore. These two trends mean that our society is ready for virtual influencers and ready to follow them.
Dima, I have a question though about how brands. Why do brands buy integrations and buy content from virtual like influencers, and do they see some benefits in virtual influencers if compared to real people who are influencers? Is it something to do with personality and fit of like culture and so on, or is it just about the number of subscribers and the reach and all of those things? Like, and where do these two things? Basically, my question is: in the future, do you think we will have more virtual influencers, or will these kind of fake people on Instagram will prevail and they will continue to be like the majority?
Okay, I will try to start from the first question. The main reason to work with the virtual influencers is the same as in working with real influencers. Is with the help of virtual influencers, you can organically expose your product and receive impressions, website clicks or link clicks, eye contacts with the product, etc. Second reason is obviously virtual influencers are easier to work with because they don't have a bad mood. They can't oversleep. They can die, or they can't be emotional for about something. And there's a big chance that virtual influencers will do everything according to the brief. And this chance is more than in case of real influencers. Then another additional reason for working with them is that this same virtual influencers are still seen by the society as something new and fresh. That is why each case of working with virtual influencer is a huge news.
Yeah, there is a certain level of novelty, right? In this,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
people are like,
and this
people
novelty
react. I guess you get more eyeballs on your product if you're using this kind of like crazy integration in your life.
Exactly, and this novelty gives the opportunity to receive free publicity in digital press, because the article with that says, okay, Prada works with Bruce Willis, or okay, what else? But
Whatever.
when they say that Prada works with a virtual old man or a virtual kid from Mars, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something that works for their clicks. That's why they publish it. So another thing, and the next question you asked about the future. Definitely, another reason, another cool use case for brand. People talk a lot about personal brand. Each of us should have its personal brand, bloggers especially. But I guess in 2021, what's really important is personality of the brand, because people nowadays want brand to have social position. If something happens, they want brand to respond. if brands support a lot of social organizations, brand collaborate with influencers, because one of the reasons is because they want their brands to have this personality. We have, you should remember the feeling when you're in the store and you're deciding, okay, I want to go with Nike or I want to go with Puma. This at this moment in your head, you're starting to you don't think only about the how model looks. You're also thinking in categories like, so do I want to be a Puma man or Nike man? When you think about Nike man, you start to resemble some basketball players, some hip hop stars. When you go with Puma, you resemble something else. So um, the personalities that lie behind the brand are really important. And for the brand, creation of virtual influencer is an opportunity to create a person that will personalize their brand. Do you understand my point? So
Yeah.
is basically the way to humanize the brand and make it more empathic to the consumers. That is why I am sure that lots of brands will have their owned
Yeah.
influencers. And the last question is, will we see the future where there will be more
More
virtual?
virtual. Yeah.
I'm guessing that my guess is that at some point uh, there will definitely be a lot of them, but there will not be a treat for real influencers, because real life is more interesting because it's unpredictable, and that's why we love bloggers, because their life is unpredictable. And in terms of virtual influencers, we don't have this. Everything is predictable, and even if something happens to them, we know that it's a part of the show.
Dima, I have another question. So, can you do like an estimate and tell us how big is this market for virtual influencers right now? Is it like, if you compare it to like Kim Kardashian, is it like one Kim Kardashian, or is it like 1/3 of Kim Kardashian, or is it like how large is it? Like how much money do people want to invest? How much money is in this market right now?
I think that right now it's a market that can be valued in millions or maybe tens of millions of dollars. But my forecast is that it will be a $1 billion market in the next couple of years. And one of the reasons is that Facebook is pushing this virtual social network thing. Probably you heard the last Zug interview where he announced that with the help of new Facebook VR glasses, we all will be able to jump into the next level of social networking. And I'm guessing at some point, virtual influencer, each of us will want to have its own virtual avatar. And this will open another market where we will need clothing for this avatar. We will need mods for this avatar. So the bottom line is right now the market is already at the point where if you know how to work with it, and if your studio has this trust, you can reach the, I guess, total turnover of maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. If your studio, obviously, I think that the guys that work with Lil Miquel, that created Lil Miquela, I think they already earn millions a year. So it's an emerging market where brands are ready to invest, and it's really depends on where you're at geographically. But I can say that in terms of Eastern Europe, brands are ready to invest numbers from thousands of dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars. In the first case, if you're talking about integration with existing virtual influencers, and in the second case, if they want to create their own scene.
Dima, another question. So how are these influencers usually operated? Are they, because we all know that like talent in like in developed markets, like in US, there is like an agency, and this agency represents the talent. And if you want to work with somebody like Gordon Ramsay, you need to go to an agency that represents Gordon Ramsay, and that's it. There is no other way for you to do it. How does it work with virtual influencers right now? Is this like Wild West and you just go and create your own and launch it and that's it? Or are there companies who are like yours who are specializing in this and they have like an army of different influencers?
It's a combination. First, I wanted to say that, it's a completely Wild West, but then you added one important thing is, first of all, if you look at the virtual influencers and at all types of content that they can create, I mean, photo, video, and live streams, you will understand that there are a lot of ways to perform these products technically. And first thing, this agency that wants to start to work in this business, first thing they need to understand is, how do you do it actually? Because if you don't figure out how to do it, if you don't learn the best pipeline, you will achieve average visual result and users won't engage. So it's a Wild West where some agencies figured out the formula, and this formula is passing around the market from one creator to another, from one producer to another, from one business to another. But it's still not a mainstream. You can't just Google, how do I do a virtual influencer? Because you will receive a list of versions. For example, is this Lil Miquela? Let's take her. Is this a 3D model photoshopped to a background? Or is it a real human with a photoshopped head? Or is everything rendered? We can achieve.
That's my next question, Dima.
And I will not answer this question because the answer is really valuable. But I want to add another thing that could be really interesting to the audience, is that it's not all about the tech. People saying, okay, I figured, so I'm doing this 3D model, I'm rendering it, I'm besting it, and they're posting this picture in social medias and seconds and third, and nothing happens. Why nothing is happening? Because it's only this amount of design, and this amount of communication, this amount of creative idea. You need, basically, people are buying not your design. You can even design a creature that will have like 3 legs and 2 heads, whatever. But if it's not interesting, people will not follow. The main thing here is that you need to create something that people can empathize on, and that people can feel that people can relate to. Yeah. So the agency that is launching this product, they have to have a big communication expertise. Also, to launch it, they have to have a big PR expertise, and to make it profitable, they have to have a big trustability among businesses. And this our agency have all these parameters. So basically, while we were producing it technically, we were doing a huge amount of work on her personality. What virtual influencer will work, what character, what age, what gender will work in Ukraine, specifically here.
Dima,
Yeah.
I have a question. So, you were talking about all of this, and I thought to myself that if you look retrospectively,
Yeah.
these influencers, this is nothing new actually, right? It's very similar to, brand mascots. It's very similar to video game characters, and I think
Yeah.
video
Yeah.
game
It's
characters
similar.
is a very good analogy. And if you know, there is a company called Riot Games, and they have a very big game, League of Legends, and they created a virtual band, like a K-pop band, KDA, and they did a lot of videos with them, and the singers who are doing the act. These are characters from the game, so you can actually play those ladies in the game. There are special skins that are being monetized and so on. And
Yeah.
My question is, I guess, do you
What's new
feel,
about it?
yeah, what is new about it? Because it feels to me that it's the same thing, but maybe
Yeah.
packaged a little bit
Exactly.
differently.
Good question. Perfect question. And that's the questions that we answered in our announcement statement. The main difference between these virtual creatures, uh, gaming creatures, or is that the main difference is in the positioning. They don't pretend to be real, and they don't act like they are real. And the most important thing is um, they uh, they're not aware. They cannot be aware of anything. They just exist. And in terms of virtual influencers, everything starts from the scene that they are aware. We make people believe that virtual influencers are aware of
They're
their.
like you and me, right? They're like
Yeah,
live in the
exactly.
real
So
world.
with
However, they do not.
in terms of the virtual characters, they just exist according to some scenario. And in case of virtual influencers, we do this fourth wall scene
Okay.
where he exists in this scenario, but at some point he's just like, okay, guys, so here I am virtual as so what should I choose, Uber or Lyft? I don't know. What are you humans doing out there? So it's a meta character, and that's what's different. That's why we can relate, and that's the main difference. Basically, is in the positioning. Yeah.
I see. It's a very interesting concept. So basically, they're like that's where they're getting engagements, right? That's where people
Exactly.
are engaging with
Because
them
of
because
this fourth wall scene. Because if we created this Lil Michaela, for example, and she wouldn't interact with the audience. She would just post and post and post and post, and don't ask or answer any question.
yeah.
It will be not interesting for us. Okay, some 3D model is content with 3D models. Okay.
Yeah. Dima, so I have a kind of like another question for this. Maybe you can help like from your perspective. So So we create this virtual character as a front, right? So it's a front. It's like a face
Yeah,
of
I
our
understand.
whatever brand, service, game, you name it, right? But then we need to operate it, and there needs to be someone, is it one person or a team or somebody behind this character to
Yeah,
make sure that, like you mentioned, they reply the comments,
yeah,
they act, they move, there is a voice, so they are animated and they
yeah.
can talk. um, how do you think this is going to work? And do you think this is part of the job of the agency that's kind of like giving you this character? And are there going to be like a whole army of people kind of behind those characters
Uh,
playing this role? And
Absolutely. I can tell in our example that it's 100% work of a big team with completely different zones of responsibility. Basically, this team is similar to the team that works with bloggers. You need to have script writer, you need to have a designer, you need and in terms of virtual influencers, you need to have designers, a lot of designers, photographers, 3D designer, 2D designer, plus you need to have a content creator who adapts the script, some live event to the exact post copyright with all these things like, do you agree guys, or uh,
tell me
uh,
what you think in
name
the
your
comments.
name your favorite brand in the comments, all this
Yeah.
social media tricks. Then you need to have a business dude who will process all these business requests. You need to have this PR dude who will connect with digital press and who will handle all the situative
Yeah,
marketing
yeah.
thing. So in terms of our studio, uh, more than 6 people work to serve the Astra. And I guess in case of Lil Michaela, it's more than 10 people or tens
Yeah.
of people.
Dima, so to kind of wrap this up, I want to ask you like a general question. It seems like a very interesting niche. It seems like somewhere where you would want to invest money. Like because for
Exactly.
me it makes 100% sense because you can build five of those characters. You can have a
Same
team of
here. Yeah,
10 people,
we can
and
and
they
we
can
will.
they can operate them and just grow them, and
Yeah,
it's so much better than any other type of influencers you can buy because you
exactly.
control him 100%. You, like you said, they don't sleep, they don't whatever, they do whatever you want. You
Yeah.
control what they say 100%, so there's no crazy shit going on. But my question is, how do you think this whole story is going to scale in the next, let's say, 5 years? So are they gonna earn the same as normal influencers right now? Are they gonna go? How are they gonna change with the introduction of new VR technologies, AR technologies like
Uh,
Apple glasses, Google glasses, or all that stuff? Like, do you think it's gonna blow up? Like, is there gonna be like millions of dollars there, like in
this
terms
is
of value?
a completely this state my following statement will be based completely on my intuition, but I believe it will blow up so much that this product has so many levels, if you think, because at some point, if you will have the right gadget, you will be able to go to the lunch with Lil Michaela. And at some point, Lil Michaela in this virtual lunch will be able to touch you. Just say, high five, buddy, and you will feel it. And this thing, it all boils down to, do we really feel it? And as I said at the beginning of our conversation, we're already feeling digital. If we post photo in social media and people like it, we start to get this feeling, warm feeling inside. And on the opposite, if we post photo and no one likes it, we really physically feel unhappiness. So my point is, we're ready to physically feel digital. And I guess that virtual influencers have the potential to scale on so many different levels that they will also integrate in our physical perception of the world. That people, for example, one of the requests I received after we launched Astra was from this entrepreneur who said, okay, man, I want to change my positioning as a businessman. And people see me as a marketer, but I'm now not a marketer, I'm an investor. So from now on my social media, I'm going to post and communicate as an investor. But I have a lot of people who are fans of my marketing story. So can you create a copy of me that will continue to post about marketing? So, virtual influencers, let's scratch the word influencers. Virtual avatars or virtual people also is a way to replicate self and create various sub-personalities. So as I said, so many levels for development that I think that the market will just, this is going to be huge.
All right, Dima. Well, I want to thank you for finding the time to do this call today with us. I know it's Friday evening for you, so you probably have other stuff to do. So thank you so much. We'll leave the links to your company and the deck and everything in the comments so people can check it out and have a look and share and so on. And we'll also leave links to your influencers so they can interact and maybe get you some more followers. Thank you so much.
And I really hope that this video will inspire some peeps to start something new. And I also hope that some businesses will have these arguments to jump in this story. Okay,
yeah,
thank you very much.
Totally. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thanks for enjoying another episode of the 80 Level Roundtable podcast. Check out upcoming episodes on the 80 Level website at 80.lv. Join our career site at 80.lv/RFP. And share our podcast with friends and on your social networks.